During the year of the 90s, anime had started to get kind of popular, with something called global expansion of anime. What drew to the appeal of anime in the 90s was that it mainly focused upon things like magical women, mechas, and action and adventures.
If you don't know what the word mecha means in Japanese, it basically means that it focuses on futuristic things such as robots, cyborgs, all the way up to things such as androids. The rise of mecha became popular in the 1990s in America.
A popular anime that focused on this particular genre once again was called Mecha, was Neon Genesis Evangelion. This show was released during the year of 1995 and had 26 episodes. It is about something called a second impact, in which a teenager joined a group called Nerve that was run by his father, who was mostly important in the show more so than him. This is according to a website called Netflix where you can watch the show up to date.
So, we will also focus on anime shows and movies. When it came across the world of anime, what influenced others to create such shows or movies was the inspiration of global politics. In the year of 1993, an anime movie called Pat Labor 2 was generally focused on politics.
Back in the era of the 90s, Japan was part of an economic movement called Lost Decade. This means there was a decline in the economy, and that included anime. Other topics besides global politics that anime was influenced by was trauma and modern life.
So, in the year of the 90s, there was something called Revolutionary Girl Athena, which focused upon gender, politics, and social structures overall. This anime was released in the year of the 1997. The show was focused on a term called patriarchy, which is when a male father-like figure is the ruler of the household. With this being said, Revolutionary Girl Athena was focused on gender too. According to an article style, Substance, and Adaptation, examining Revolutionary Girl Athena, and Adolescence of Athena, by Robin Langing, on a website called Literature Film Quarterly, LFQ. During this time was more fluid but still related to ideas of femininity. Most transformation involve a shift from masculinity towards femininity. Saito 159 to 160. It is important to explore how femininity is incorporated into anime, as it's very important to see how girls and boys struggle in anime altogether.
Anime in the 1990s showcased a distinctive animation style that set it apart from other forms of media, predominantly characterized by cell animation. This technique involved hand drawing each frame on paper before transferring the images to film. The result was vibrant and dynamic visual experience, often enhanced by the use of speed lines to convey motion and excitement. Most series during this era operated at a frame rate of 8 to 12 frames per second, which contributed to a unique aesthetic that many fans still cherish today. This combination of artistry and technical limitation gave 90s anime its signature look, making it a beloved period in the history of animation.
According to an Instagram post written by Sivaswapna Official, this account mentions most series ran at 8 to 12 frames per second, so movements were less fluid. Studios use clever tricks like speed lines. From observing this fact, it certainly is refreshing back then to have a style compared to the use of AI today. It is a shame now that today people use AI to create art and can never tell if it was made by a real person or not. This post was also referencing the anime called Demon Slayer, and what it would be like in the 90s. I thought it was a rather cool concept of anime being hand-drawn and connected today's anime back to 90s anime.
Another way for this kind of style for anime in the 90s, there was something called muted colors. Muted colors basically means softer and less intense colors. A certain anime that defines this statement is an anime called Princess Momonoke.
Tying into colors for 90s anime, there were some repeated ones that everyone liked to use. A few of the pattern's colors were pink, yellow, and blue. For some people, this provides others with great nostalgia. According to an article called The Appeal of 90s Anime by Catherine Hahn on the website The Science Survey, This author explains, the recurring hues of pink, yellow, and blue throughout the series cohesively wrap the story and characters in a sense of nostalgia and comfort, presenting an attractive display of animated enchantment. Catherine then goes into mention on how there were specific undertones that went along with the anime.
Some anime were based on the world of video games. For example, the world of Pokemon. You know, the cute little Pokemon Pikachu who goes Pika Pika back in 1998. The Pokemon series began on Japanese television according to a section of Wikipedia Encyclopedia in their section and collaboration called History of Anime. It's pretty cool indeed that back in the era of the 1990s, people would want to create an anime based off of a video game. Why? Because when thinking of video games, that would gain popularity for people to watch the anime.
So, it was a great time to talk about anime again for Anime Part 2 of the 90s Fiesta. We want to add some exciting news about our podcast. Why? Well, let me tell you why. Sarah, the owner of the 90s Fiesta podcast, wants to say that our podcast was waitlisted for a panel at an anime convention called Anime Boston 2026. Well, the podcast was inspired to do this specific panel. While it was not accepted, the term waitlisted means a whole lot to her and us. She wants to thank you for being our fans. Peace out.